I invented a game, and so can you. It's all about finding that inspiration, or more importantly, listening to that inspiration when it shows up. Nearly every game is a mashup or derivative of other games. I ran across this Monopoly Scrabble combo at Target recently. I don't know how original that is, but it certainly sounds interesting. To me, it seems more like breeding cats and dogs. Anyway, Domino's has 1,000 cousins. Hex games are everywhere since Catan came out, which I think is a great game. I really enjoy that. I have trouble winning sometimes, but it's really great. So if you want to invent a game, play games. Play games that aren't in maybe your normal wheelhouse. If you're into hex games, go play a card game or play a domino game or play Monopoly or something completely outside your realm, and it might spark some connections. And that's how my game, Block Stacking Madness, got started. So we have a weekly game night, family game night. We get together, we just play board games, table games. It's a really great way to keep the family connected, and it's just a lot of fun. We play everything from Boggle to Yahtzee to Uno, Jenga, occasionally some other, Clue. And that's kind of where this thing started. We played a few rounds of Uno, which, in case you don't know, is a color and number matching game with some twists. And I love the twists. And then we moved on to Jenga. And Jenga, as you probably know, is you stack of blocks, you pull a block and hope it falls over before it comes back around to you. As we neared the end of the game, it hit me, man, I wish there was some way to get out of taking this next move or to make someone else to do something extra. Well, why not combine some elements of Uno with Jenga or block stacking games? Ta-da! So that next week, I took action. That's the critical thing. If you want to invent a game, no matter how bad the idea might be at first, take a step. So I bought that Uno deck, went through it, actually calculated the percentage of special cards to number cards and all these other things. I went through all the special cards, and some of them applied, some of them didn't. And I just got magic marker out and I marked up these cards to create the first then unnamed card game to go with our Jenga game. And then the next Sunday I showed up with it and we tried it out. It kind of sort of worked. Some cards didn't work very well, some worked okay. But it did prove the concept that adding that extra dimension made the game more interesting and certainly less predictable. And you weren't just waiting for it to come around. With those cards, you didn't know when your next turn would be or what you'd have to do. Through several weeks, I updated and I changed, redid things because it was obvious some of the Uno cards really didn't apply to a block staking game. And I had to make up some different cards that fit, playing a block stacking game. So week after week, I'd show up, and like I said, everyone was very patient with me, and we kept playing until we got a pretty playable assortment of cards. I'm thinking, okay, I think we're onto something here. I'm pretty good at fair to middle and at Canva, so I went to Canva, created the first batch of cards, each of the cards, created a back, and I thought, well, this is looking pretty good. So I sent that off to Game Crafters, which Game Crafters is a site, as it sounds like, is a site specifically dedicated to people that invent and sell various games, lots of board games, few card games. And it's a really comprehensive site. There's a big learning curve. It's a great site. I don't know anybody else in the market that's like it. And this is not an endorsement. I'm not paid by them or supported by them. They just make my cards. I got that first set in, and it wasn't terrible. But what amazed me was after spending hours and hours looking at the screen, getting things to look just right and line up just right on a screen, and then getting the physical cards, and immediately some things jumped out at me that, okay, could be better, weren't all that great. But we played that first printed prototype deck. It was pretty good. Like, okay. And I watched everybody play, and I paid close attention to the playability. And it turned out there were some cards that weren't clear. There were some cards that were a little confusing, that the graphics didn't really explain very well what was going on. Some cards, for some reason, people didn't really want to play. Rather than injecting my opinions into this as the lover of this newly formed game, I just took a lot of notes and I listened to feedback. I asked them, okay, what don't you like about that card, and so on. I went back to Canva, went back to the drawing board, changed a bunch of graphics, changed the back graphic, really made a whole bunch of wholesale changes to the way things look, and it was a lot clearer. So round 2, I get my second set of prototypes in. Terrible. We never even played that deck. Now the artwork, 90% there, just a few tweaks. But the mix of the cards was a whole nother story. It was really unbalanced. There was too much of this kind of card and not enough of that kind of card. So the short version is there are 5 types of cards in this game, and 2 of them kind of oppose each other. One type you play yourself, and another type you play on other people or against other people. And those were just like way out of whack. I had this aha moment, and that's what's really important when you're building a game, is let yourself have those aha moments. What if these are balanced? If there's every card you play for yourself is also a card that can be played against somebody. Now, when you'd want to play those cards are completely different. So I did that. I redid the deck to balance out those 2 opposing kind of cards, made a couple tweaks to superpower cards and a couple of other things. Off to Game Crafters again, and my next prototype. It showed up in the mail. I laid them out on the coffee table, and it was like magic. They even laid out into this nice big square of opposing cards and the other types of cards. It was just like, oh my gosh, here we are. So we played that. We played that deck, and that worked really well. The coolest part was we do this game night at the senior apartments that my mom lives at in a common area, and we drew an audience. I've never had an audience in the senior facility before, but people were gathering around watching, and they thought that was fascinating, that there was this way to play a block stacking game. We're 90% there. There are just a few little tweaks, some things more cosmetics than anything else. I didn't change the deck anymore, a couple little minor things. We're off to the races. I've got a 52 card deck, 51 playing cards, and a 1 card instruction card, which, by the way, you should be able to put the instructions on a card and have it be understandable, unless you're into the D&D things, and I know that's a whole another thing. These were some lessons that I took away from where I'm at in the journey up to this date. Is 1, listen to that idea. When that little seed comes out, water it, let it grow. Don't get bought into your first idea too much. Listen to feedback. Don't be afraid of cutting out things that you like but just don't seem to work for anybody else. Don't rush, and do as many prototypes as you need to. Prototype, and test. Play the game. Play it with other people, and take feedback. Don't give feedback. If you want to know where I've gone from here, join me on this next video when I talk about some production and actually getting selling started online. Thank you very much. This is an exciting journey, and I hope you join me on it.